Hello everybody that happens to still be here. We are back. Honestly, earlier was just too much fun. There was too many people here, so I went and took me a nice little 40ish minute break while I had a little bit of dinner and got some exercising in. And um, this is a league that I normally play competitive leagues off stream because I honestly just don't focus enough on stream to really want to play that kind of swing, and I like to have 5 matches for every video as well. And like, you know, you can be the greatest player in the world, and occasionally you're going to 1-3 a competitive league or 0-3 a competitive league. So like, you don't always get 5 matches in a competitive league. That being said, we are already 1-0 in this particular competitive league, but we're going to finish it out. And we'll go ahead and join match. And this hand's good enough to keep, I think, versus a blind opponent, but just barely. Just barely. Like, this hand is not good. We have one very powerful spell in the hand, though, and anytime I have early interaction and one very powerful spell, I find it very hard to mulligan. But that could just be my own personal problems. And that's a little unfortunate. Could have been worse, but thank you for the auto host again, Boot. I want to go ahead and do this now. Some people would wait and try to get the energy greedily, but I believe that most of these black-green decks do play Blossoming Defense, so I think it's just better to go ahead and get the value when you know you can get the value. I mean, not value, but like when you know you can get the creature killed, especially when it's a high priority target. And he missed a land drop, so I guess that's good for us. Oh, and he's those colors. So I have kind of a weird decision to make here. I can go ahead and kill this guy and give him no extra card, and I believe that's what I want to do. I could have also let him pay a point of damage and played the other Earthshaker Kenra and tried to attack. Well, looks like I'm just a bad Magic player. Wow. So I play around Blossoming Defense the previous turn. I don't play around it this turn, and I get severely punished for it because I lose my Chandra 2 now. That was kind of a game-costing mistake. Wow. So if he had a land, I would have lost to Chandra anyway. Yeah, that was terrible for me. Nowadays hit lands too. We're probably just dead. Then again, we did draw 7 lands, so not real likely that we were going to win with drawing 7 lands. Alright, so I think it's pretty safe for us to concede now, but there's still a Braids in the deck, so we won't concede this turn. We'll see if we can get in a Braid. We're just going to get buried now. And he still has 6 cards in his hand. Second Geralt. Yeah. So now we have to draw multiple Abrades? Well, at least that doesn't give him a good attack with the glint. Hmm. We're pretty much dead now. I could have played the land, but I'm scooping, so like I'm not really worried about playing the land. I'm just a little slow to it. I didn't play that game well. Went and got food, exercise, definitely kind of mentally fatigued now. I don't really like any of our cards in this match out or post board. I definitely don't like the shocks. The Beaumonts and the Scours don't seem like they do a lot either. The Pias don't seem like they're great. Like, everything's just so bad to Walking Ballista. I think the Soscour mages are better than the Beaumonts, though. Yeah, we'll just try this. I did not play game 1 well. Kind of glad that there's not 75 of you in here anymore. Because that was kind of embarrassing. This sounds fine. Sounds actually decent. It'll depend on what their hand is, how it matches up. That's basically what we want. We have a 1, 2, 3 and a removal spell. He didn't lead off of a black mana, so it's safe to go ahead and play the Karl Zeb pre-combat. Just so I can press F6. So that's a Sneakity Snake. In my experience, you always kill Sneakity Snakes, even though it's not efficient on our mana. Oh, I forgot it actually makes me stack those. And my hand's strong enough that I would not trade it for 3 random. They're probably going to shoot this, but that's fine. Like I said, I think my hand's strong enough that it's worth doing that. And he's missing lands this game, so this game isn't really indicative of anything. The last black-green player I had Cartouches of Ambition out of the sideboard, and they were absolutely brutal. So he's got glint siphoners that we know of, but I still don't think that's enough reason to bring the shocks in. I do want a few more removal spells, and I think the Beaumont Couriers are worse on the draw, actually, so maybe I'll bring them in just to try. They can sometimes get a Lone Tusk Cub too, but they're not particularly good. So we're 31-6 with this build of this deck right now, and we've lost a Teamer 3 times, red deck wins twice, and black-green once. So this hand's pretty good. Again, we have spells that we can play on 1, 2, and 3. Unfortunately, he had an Attune. I feel like every time they have an Attune, we just kind of lose. We didn't draw any of our 7 ways to kill a Winding Constrictor, which is another large problem. Yep, that card's very good. It's going to take a Chandra trigger at some point to try to kill. And that card's very good as well. Hmm. I'm fine with that not blocking. Could trade this into this, but I don't think it's worth it. We don't mind a whole lot right now if he has a blossoming defense. It would suck, but it would make it harder for him to protect the Gifted Everborn, which is going to be the bigger problem. Yep. Like I said, the bigger problem is the Gifted Everborn. And that's the card we're very worried about in this spot. But we're obviously pretty far behind. I'm dropping a decent amount of frames again. I wonder why. Oh, hello. It's kind of odd. He probably could have just attacked, but whatever. Alright, well, I guess I'll attack with this thing. They're not blocking this turn. At least bluff a shock. Alright, bluff called. We just press F6 now. Bluff called. Oh, he's got something for 6 mana? Oh, he's got another Walking Ballista? Yeah, this game's over then. Can't beat double Walking Ballista. Have no out to it. Yeah, the 7th land's certainly not going to do it. Alright, so we lost another match to black-green. And that Q was instant. Hopefully it's not the same opponent. It is not the same opponent. This hand's not good. 1 creature, a bunch of removal spells. You usually want it the other way around. You want 1 or 2 removal spells and more creatures, but fortunately we have to keep. It's also a BR player, which makes me think they're just mono red, but that's not always true. This awkward pause during our upkeep. Yeah, I guess let's just look at this pretty land then. Okay, there we go. And if he is playing mono red, Chandra's not very good in the match, so that's unfortunate. If he's playing mono red, our hand's actually very bad. Just will let him go to his attack step just in case he has Beaumont or something. So in these red matches, even the ones that are like red-black, it's generally whoever attacks with the first Hazard wins, like probably 85% of each game. So based on his current hand, I'm assuming he already has a Hazard the way he's played his things out. So we probably are just dead, but who knows? Maybe we won't be. Might get to prevent 5 damage with a Chandra at some point. We could just not have the Hazard too, but since he's using the key to the city right here, like it's almost guaranteed that he's just getting ready to Hazard us. Is that a pretty large cost to himself? But could have abraded the key to the city. But abrading the key to the city doesn't feel like it does a whole lot. This feels like we're already dead. First Hazard wins. It's just all there are to it. Not a whole lot we can do about that. Can't think of anything that'd keep us in the game either. Certainly not another land. Guess if he has stone nothing, another Hazard would win the game for us. Because we could play a land and then use the Chandra and all that. But like, he has to kind of have stone nothing for that to work. Drawing another Scorched Desert's technically 8 damage as well. That was the best of both worlds. Now he can just kill the Chandra unimpeded, and we can't attack no matter what we hit. There's owls mating outside my window. That's not something I expected to hear. That is definitely not something that I expected to hear today. So our own Hazard would, I don't know, would do something, I guess. Let's exile the top card and pray that we hit something. So we hit a Lightning Strike. Well, Lightning Strike's better. 3 damage is better than 2, I guess. Alright, so we'll go ahead and destroy this. If they draw a Cropper or something that can deal 3 damage to us, that's just unfortunate. But I don't want to give them 2 draws. We do have some outs that can win. What's up, local? Hey, MTG Bot's back. Welcome back, MTG Bot. So now he's worried, has to be worried a little bit about defense even. Yeah, they don't, but he could have had lightning strike too. So he's worried about attacking right now because our own Hazard just wins the game. But if he doesn't have a blocker, I don't think he has an option. I think he just has to attack. So we kind of need to hit a lightning strike now. Alright, well. We have at least one draw step, I guess. And we lose. Alright. That's unfortunate. It's the first Hazard, like I said, wins almost every game. He attacked with a turn 4 Hazard. The fact that it was this close was pretty good for us. Thank you for following Mana Swain? Mantasane? Mantis something. Anyway, let's move on to the sideboard. I definitely want all of these. Sorry, I was being confused by trying to pronounce that name and I got distracted by myself. I actually don't think Chandras are good in this match. I don't think the Croppers are particularly good in this match either. If I hadn't what? I'm not following that one. I don't actually know what you're saying. Sorry, man. Anyway, the Croppers typically don't feel like they're great here, and I usually cut a couple shocks. This is typically how I present my deck for post-board games. The Eversphere Harvests are considerably less good versus them because they have Murder Boats and Upgrades, though. How do I force him? How do I force him to attack the Chandra, though? Anyway, we're gonna submit this. Alright, we'll keep. Hand's not great. They have a lot of removal spells, but I'm not gonna mulligan. But the Ramunaps, I see what you're saying. Hello, thank you for the follow, Josephine. But how much worse shape am I if he just does that, right? Like, that's a lot worse shape for me, isn't it? If he just kills Deshandra, like, he's drawing 2 cards, like, do I win those games too? I feel like I'm not winning the game where he's drawing 2 cards a turn anyway if he kills my Chandra. It's kind of the weirdest awkward pause ever there. I should have at least thought about that line, though, instead of that kind of being on autopilot. Like we did a stream earlier today, and I just got back from having dinner and exercising, so like I'm probably not playing particularly well right now. No, don't have a Chandra's defeat. Oh, there's a Hazard. Alright. That's not the right one at all. Our Hazard's not going to attack on turn 4, which is unfortunate. He's taking damage from stuff. Oh, he's got a Kenra too, so he's kind of like ahead in the race here too. So if he has a Hazard, like we just can't win, right? Magic Online hates me sometimes. Okay. I can't even attack if I don't kill that. I don't think playing the Hazard works there because I don't get an attack step this turn if I play the Hazard. And just being able to draw a land and play the Hazard, it seems like it has a lot more upside than anything else. It puts me down to 7. If he leaves a Beaumont back, there's no way he has a removal spell. So at least that's good. Okay, well, now he's swung with them all, so I guess he probably does have a removal spell then. Well, first thing is we need to draw land before we even have a decision to make. That's not a land. This is the story of our lives, friends. Is it bad that I want to attack for 3 and get rid of a Hazard and just draw 5 cards? I probably can't win. Holding back on defense doesn't feel like it wins either. Kinda want to attack with the Beaumont. Pretty sure I'm at least attacking with the Beaumont. I don't think I'm attacking with the Kenra though. I think I want to attack with the Beaumont here. I don't really want to swing with all. Swinging with all just feels like I die to a removal spell. Wow. Like I told you guys, sometimes Magic Online just hates me. Oh look, and he has a Hazard. Um, so I actually have an out here, right? So I guess we just played our out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we block and see if we hit another one. Block this guy. Might as well kill this guy just because it's there. And then we discard our hand to this guy and see if we draw our one out. So we have 4 outs, 1 draw step. This card is not it. So I guess I could have attacked with this last turn, and we could have won. No, that wouldn't have worked. Could have attacked with nothing. So nothing would have changed. Anyway, so we lost to another red deck. He played Hazoret both times and won. That's literally all it takes to win the mirrors, playing Hazoret. So 31 and 8 now. And we lost to another red deck. He was the red-black build, but still another red deck. So we attacked all out the turn before we were still dead. If we'd attacked for only 1 more and chump blocked with the Kenra, we were dead. If we attacked with the Kenra and chumped with the Beaumont, we were still dead. So don't think there was an out there. Alright, so now we're 1 and 2. We gotta rally and win both of the next 2 to even get our pity chest. We have to win this round to get another round. I don't know, I guess we can play the last round for the stream whether we win or lose. We'll keep this hand. It's one of the better hands we've actually saw tonight. Which is a little depressing, to be honest. Our hands have been very poor tonight, but we have been running so hot the past couple of days that we can't even complain about poor hands. Ooh, red-white decks. First time I played versus a red-white deck since the change. Since the sets rotated out. Second Hazoret. You're our favorite Hazoret. Not the first Hazoret, but the second Hazoret is our favorite Hazoret. It might get the attack before we're too far behind. Thank you for following Fernando Fernando. Fernando, that works. By the way, hi Rob. You ain't never here. Oh, Rob stopped by. What a miracle. Uh-oh. So I want a braid or a 3-drop? Well, I'll take the 3-drop. Our Hazoret still isn't going to get the attack on turn 4, unfortunately. But at least we get to cast Hazoret this game. I'm from Eastern Kentucky. I do think Mono Red's weaker now, yes. But keep in mind, on Magic Online, we don't have access to the new set yet, so in terms of Magic Online, like this is all we have. There's no more additional tools. I think 8's enough though. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I don't think I want to put the other 4 in. But I do think we're not a favorite versus Teamer either way. I think Whirler Virtuoso is way too good versus Teamer. I think it's close though. Like we've lost to Teamer 3 times. We're probably like 4-3 versus Teamer now, or 5-3. So like they're pretty close games. I think a lot of it depends on how the decks are built. Having this hazard right here is great. It's a little Inventors of Printeroo and a Beaumont Courier. I feel like the mono red players think the mono red deck's better, but like the articles you're reading, right, are people like Seth Manfield and stuff who are like beating worse players than them that are playing Teamer. Like if Seth was playing mono red and Brad was playing Teamer and they played 100 matches, I feel like Brad would be ahead. But that could be wrong. It's kind of like what Rudy was telling me one day. Like I've always felt that we were a favorite with felt like we were a favorite with blue white approach to the mono red match with our original build of it. But like Rudy said, it's just because I'm playing versus weaker mono red players. Oh, that's the article you read? That's hilarious because I've not read either of them. I was just making random comments. But it could be an entirely a point of like which builds weaker or playing weaker players, right? Because like I've always, a more experienced player is going to win versus a less experienced player, even if the decks are even marginally close. Like say mono red was a just for sake of argument, say it was a 65% favorite versus Brad Nelson playing Teamer, right? Like me playing versus Brad Nelson, he's probably still going to beat me the majority of the time, and that's just for the sake of argument, right? Like I don't even know if that percentage is real. I'm just like throwing out a random percentage for the sake of the conversation. Well, we very much need to hit a little removal spell, I think. That would be great. But I don't know that that's true at all. I'm just going by my experience. Like, all right. I guess he doesn't have an out, maybe? I'm not sure. And it'll depend a lot on the build of Teamer, right? Like, a Teamer deck that has 2 Whirler Virtuosos going to be, and no Effort Spare Harvester is going to be worse versus a build that would have like 2 Spear Harvesters and 4 Whirler Virtuosos or whatever. So, like, a lot of that's like, what builds are we playing with, things of that nature. Anyway, versus these like Mardu decks in the past, I've not liked Glorybringer because I thought Archangel Avacyn was way too good. I still kind of don't like Glorybringer because I believe both Heart of Kirin and Effort Spear Harvester are too good. I definitely think Magma Spray is good enough. I definitely think our own Harvesters and our own Pias are good enough. I think these free drops are just better than these free drops versus most aggressive decks, but especially when you're on the draw versus aggressive decks. Though Effort Spear Harvester is worse versus the decks that can run a Braid and can run Murder Boat both. In general, I again don't like Chandra versus these aggro decks either. I think it's real easy to come down and like pick off one thing, but I don't think it's good enough to survive. The Chandra's defeats may be good enough. It depends on whether he's playing Glorybringers and Chandras, which we have no idea whether he is at the moment. The Sand Stranglers, I think, are too small, and I think the Harsh Mentors are fine because I think they're very good versus vehicles, especially Effort Spear Harvester. Like, versus Effort Spear Harvester, if I have a mentor in play, they don't gain any life. They actually lose 1 life to crew and play. Is that the one with First Strike and Raid? If so, I think it'll be playable. I'm not sure if it's good enough, but I think it'll at least be playable. It's one of the cards that I very much want to test in this match. And because we brought the Magma Sprays in, I think it's safe to cut at least 1 shock. And I really don't know what the other card I want to cut out is. Maybe a Beaumont Courier. They don't have Fraben Inspectors anymore, though, so it makes me think the Beaumont Courier is a little bit stronger than it used to be. But yeah, I do think that card's playable. I'm going to cut out this little desert here. On the play, I'm going to try 23 lands versus them. Or on the draw, I'm going to try 23 lands versus them. Well, we have to mulligan, but not a single card in our hand is a card we sideboarded in, so it would not have affected how many lands we drew. He also mulliganed. This hand's fine. Again, none of these cards are cards we sideboarded in, so. I don't think it's punished because none of those cards were cards that I was even considering sideboarding out. Like a card that I would have sideboarded out would have probably been, I don't know. And also, us having a colorless land in that hand isn't a keep, right? So like even if you take one of those random cards out of that last hand at random for the grounds, like we're not keeping 2 colorless sources either. So I don't think it was punished. I don't think it affected anything really. Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were kidding, but yeah, I don't think it affected anything. I like playing these out first because I don't expect them to get very much value at all, and if they pull a removal spell, that's great. And I actually value the Soskar Mage putting -1/-1 counters on things extremely highly. Like I probably value that much more highly than it should be. But I kind of put that little ability on a pedestal. Oh God, now I'm a pervert and just thinking about the TV show The League. Oh God. That's not things I'm going to say out loud on stream. So we had a pretty reasonable draw for a mulligan. Our opponent, if he plays anything this turn, also has a pretty reasonable draw for a mulligan. Having a Braid for an Everspear Harvester still, which is great. So untap land would make me smile. That is an untap land. I like how I always say untap land because I'm used to playing decks that have lands that actually don't come into play untapped all the time. Though, like, clearly this deck doesn't have that issue, but I'm still just used to saying it. I'm gonna go ahead and play the Kenra. What do I want to kill between the Pia and the Fopter? If I kill the Pia, he can play additional Pias and he can get the Scrap Heap Scrounger back. If I play the... Or if I kill the Fopter, the best he can do is trade on the following turns. I think I'd rather kill the Pia anyway. Yeah. So we came to the same conclusion. I think I'd rather kill the Pia either way. Robbie, I have just noticed, has also insulted my grammar on my Facebook post where I wrote I was coming live again. Thanks for looking out, Rob. We appreciate it, boo. Little Scrap Heap Scroungeroo coming to get my face. Alright, well, you got my face. Let's rock. Be interesting to see what kind of play they have on this turn. Interesting as well. They might be waiting to... Alright then. Let's go ahead and at least attack and see what he does. Might be a murder boat here. So I think it's actually worth it for me to draw cards over to Hazret. I feel like I'm pretty far ahead anyway. And free cards seem like they're pretty valuable. And we may just not draw the land, right? We may not draw the land, folks. Obviously punished. But you never know. We may not have drawn the land. If he'd had a second removal spell there, that would have been bad. But if he only had the one removal spell, I don't think that was that bad. Oh, he's got his own Hazret. Well, that's pretty brutal. He kind of can't attack. Well, now he can't attack because he's got a blocker now. Alright. One of those croppers in our sideboard would be real good here. Interesting. So if we attack with a Maul, he's just going to block, take 1. Then he's got an attack for 8 next turn. I mean, I guess technically that's lethal, right? It also doesn't feel like something we need to risk. Feels like we can just play defense and do the same play. Feels like we can just play defense and do the same thing. Oh, wow. How good was that draw? How good was that draw, fam? We kind of has to just ultimate, right? That was a good draw. Hmm. Yeah, he has to just emblem. He's dead if he doesn't. I guess that's worth blocking with the Kenra. He gets to just bring it back, though. Maybe I just take the damage one turn and look to block next turn. Sure. Yeah, he's got the Pia from earlier. By the way, thanks for stopping by, Silent. I don't think I've saw you before. That's probably worst draw possible. That's definitely worst draw possible, right? I don't think I'm going to win this game. So we're pretty close to dead. It's looking like we're getting severely punished for our earlier play. I think I have to block this turn. I guess the Kinra's worse. Alright, well that's a good one. That one gives us a chance again. We still have one shock left in the deck, is that right? No, we have 2 shocks left in the deck. 2 shocks, 3 lightning strikes, 3 Ramunaps. Wow, he has a removal spell too? Oh no, he's just doing 2 damage to us. That's fine. Hey, thanks for the follow, Scientcast29. At some point he's just going to bash with everything, right? Or he's going to like draw a murderous cut or something. Alright, that's fine. That one doesn't change a whole lot. He still needs to save a blocker unless he gets lucky with the Beaumont. Alright, looks like we're blocking. We'll hold our Beaumont back because there's at least 4 new cards. That was a play mistake. I should have went ahead and lightning bolted his face. It would have at least killed this and he couldn't bring this back had I been a better player. I was not a better player. That was a pretty bad play mistake. I like saw it the second I pressed the button. But doesn't matter because we're lucky. But yeah, that was a pretty bad play mistake. It's kind of an embarrassing play mistake. Alright, well, looks like we're playing the last match. Trying to win that pity chest. So the match popped instantly. that the same opponent? That is not the same opponent. Alright, well, we won the dice roll, and we're playing for a pity chest, friends. This hand's fine. It's nothing. It's not very good, and versus a lot of decks, we would just mulligan this, but versus a blind opponent, I think it's keepable. He mulliganed to 6, and he put on top, so his draw is probably better than ours. That's something that I think the scry is extremely valuable. I lost to a red deck, the red-black splash of the red deck, and I lost to black-green. So we're versus a control deck here, of some kind. To see what kind of removal he has. He could just have a little harvester or something. That's kind of interesting. And we'll go ahead and lightning strike that and save the braid in case he has a gear hook later in the game. So this is match 42 with the deck, and we are currently 33-8. Oh wow, it's kind of cool. Opponent's playing like some kind of multicolored brew. Sultai, it might be 4 colors. Not sure yet. Go ahead and exert 1 turn just so we can get another thing on the Beaumont. It is a pretty large hit too. I certainly wouldn't have expected the green splash when we saw both the Drowned Catacomb and the Fetid Pools. I would have expected it to have been more of a green deck that just happened to have a few of those cards. So, big money? No dispel, please? Alright, well, I guess we don't even care if there's a dispel. Okay, cycling sensor so we can get that F6 value. Opponent's down to 6, and we have a lightning strike and double Ramunap in hand. So, unless something very unfortunate happens, we're probably going to sneak game 1 at least. There's no guarantee that we're going to, but we're probably going to. So another Rogue Refiner. Let's see what he hits here. He hit nothing. Alright, well. Guess it's better to get something off the board, right? Or to just do the damage to his face. If he has a removal spell, this works out better for us because of the Ramunaps. Alright, well, he's done. Alright, well, we didn't see a whole lot of this deck. We saw double black spells and we saw counter spells, so he's mostly going to be a black-blue deck that's splashing green, it looks like. Which is a little different than most of the other decks. I believe the Chandra's still good in that case. I believe the Glorybringers are still good in that case. The Harsh Mentors probably aren't great anymore. The Sand Stranglers might be okay because he has at least some number of X-Frees. Shocks seem like they're on the weaker side of things, but he's got at least Glint Siphoner and Rogue that it can both target. The only thing he showed us that it can't target is the Ephemermorn. On the draw, I feel like the Beaumonts are less good as well. Don't really know how he's sideboarding it out, but I think this is enough answers. I don't think I want the Sand Stranglers. Yeah, we're gonna go with this. Hey, IQ Scarecrow. Don't think I've saw you or Silent Cast alone around before. I appreciate both you guys watching tonight. Well, he kept his hand on the fast. We'll also keep this hand, and we'll hope to hit a land at some point, but... Man, that was a fast keep by him. So at least get one card under the Beaumont. I'd probably be willing to trade the Beaumont for... Oh well. We're going to have to hit a removal spell. No worries. I mostly lurk too when I watch streams. I like to kick my feet up and relax. I'm generally not around the keyboard. Oh, it's getting worse. We need more and more removal spells. That's also not a removal spell. So this game's not going anywhere and it's not going there fast. We do not have the 4 for Braid in this build. The Sand Stranglers have very much underperformed and probably should be the 4 for Braid. What deck do you play? What is your deck? Could easily have a counterspell for this. He's at least showed us sensors, so I'm just not going to bother with it. Could have Hour to Glory as well, but kind of like this when neither of us are doing anything, so. Approach of the Second Son's the deck I play the most. We have 31 YouTube videos up, I believe. Yeah, we have 31 YouTube videos up for Approach of the Second Son. Alright. We attack. I don't know how good the Approach of the Second Son's going to be post-rotation, though. I believe it actually gets significantly worse. I believe the fact that there's going to be a new aggro control deck, and that, the Pirate Blue-Black deck, and I think that the fact that Mono Red's going to be so popular is going to make us, and the loss of Blessed Alliances is going to give us a lot of interesting issues. Thank you for the follow, IQ Scarecrow. Second Gifted Everborn. I kind of really want to brew a... We brewed a blue-white one, but it was before I read the entire spoiler, so I have to look at that with a grain of salt. But, it's kind of interesting. I hadn't read the entire spoiler yet, so I'm not sure that if I want to make any changes or not. I really like that new red enchantment. And I'm obsessed with Search. Oh, wow. Interesting. Search of Azcanta, I think that's what it's called. I'm pretty obsessed with that card. Try number 2. Thinking about attacking with everything. So if I attack with everything, what can he do? He can, like, block this guy and kill it, and block this guy and kill it, or like block this guy and gain life and this guy. He probably has a removal spell, But I kind of want this in the graveyard. Eh, I'm fine. Just let the Lord figure it out. Thank you for following, Donnie True. Blessed is rotating out. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm very afraid of. Kind of want him to block the little 2-1. That works out well as well. Oh, him having a removal spell and letting us attack with Takarl is not something I expected. Sure. We still netted life on that. Yes, I did in fact say to let the Lord figure it out. Well, that's bad for us. It's kind of an interesting card. So what happens now? If I play that and make that not be able to block, he just cruises that, eats that, blocks that, takes 4, gains 1, and I lose a creature for nothing? I'm fine with that as well. Well, if he has a removal spell, that changes that. Okay then. Surprised he didn't attack last turn then. Yeah, it's still going to be a strong deck. You'll need to probably pick up some Carnage Titans though, right? Carnage Titans seems like they're going to be a pretty important card for that. Kind of want to hold the Hazard as long as I can. Because I don't know why. He could have like Ever Meltdown or something. I assume this just gets ate by something. Gotta hope he doesn't draw Hour of Glory. What do you draw? Scarab God? Noxious Gear Hulk. That's about the best thing you could draw. It's not really that good here. He's going to gain 2 life or whatever, but I guess he's going to gain 4 life? And not kill anything? Oh wow, you don't gain the life if it doesn't kill it? Wow, I didn't know that. I assumed he just gained the life anyway. A lot of those cards you just gain the life anyway. This way, in case we draw a Shocker or a Lightning Strike, we're just lethal. How did I punt? What was my punt? Oh, you're saying his punt. Sure. Yeah, he made a punt. Yeah, he could have gained 2 life and prevented 1 damage this turn. So he's going to go up to 7. He can block 2. If he blocks the biggest 2, he still takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he loses this thing now. Yeah, I'm pretty interested in trying dinosaurs too. I hope that they are cheap enough. Well, he's dead on board if he makes this block, right? Yeah, he's got to block a 2-power thing. There you go. Could have Hour to Glory though. We could have Confiscation Coup. So like, I can't rule the game out just yet. Alright, well, I guess I can rule it out now. Guess he could have Life Goes On. It's kind of interesting. I guess we'll hold Deshandra and just use the Ramunap. Because if I just play Deshandra and he has a counter spell, we're not lethal, and he's already showed us negate, so we know there's counter spells at least in his deck. Alright, so we got our money back this round. Let's go ahead and update. We're 42 and 8 with this build, or sorry, 34 and 8 with this build now. So this tournament we beat Teamer, we lost to Teamer, we lost to Black Red. The aggro build, basically the mono red with the splash of like Scrap Heap Scroungers and Murderous Boats. And then we beat those last two opponents, the Sultai deck and whatever this guy was playing. I don't remember what this guy was playing. The games went real fast. I've played a lot of matches today. They've kind of ran together. Oh, this is the guy that's playing the Mardu deck. Yeah. So anyway, that's the second stream for today. And that is going to be it for me now. It's getting around 11. Sorry. I'm going to pop this deck back up while I say my goodbyes. Thank you for following all the way. Hylinaeod? Yeah, I can't pronounce your name. Hylineaeod. Thank you for following. I think it's pretty good. I think it's a little better versus the Teamer decks and a little worse in the like mirror matches. Like, I think this build's a little bit stronger because it doesn't have to come into play tap lands. Like when you're playing red versus red-black. But I think it's a little bit stronger versus Teamer. I think the Murderous Boats go a long way. I'm going to thank you guys for the follows. We'll see if there's anybody to host real quick. I'm going to try to find another standard player. We're actually not going to open the chest because we need to save some money to buy some Ixalan cards so we can play some brews and stuff. We'll probably start with Blue-White Approach tomorrow, even though I don't think Blue-White Approach is particularly great in the format, but it is kind of like our signature deck. But I'm not guaranteeing we'll have to be able to find some search for Azcanthas and stuff like that on bots. If we can't find the bots, like if we can't find the cards to buy, we can't do anything about it. But that's the current plan. If we don't find any cool cards, we're unfortunately just going to have to slam mono red at them again. But that's the plan, because Ixalan does release tomorrow morning. I'm not seeing anybody that plays standard whatsoever, so I'm going to go ahead and send you to a modern player. He plays a lot of modern brews, and he streams. He's doing a 365-day challenge, the same as I am. We're all basically copying Caleb. But he plays a lot of fun decks and stuff, so go check him out. And take care, everybody. Thanks for watching the second stream today.